Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's Sanj here with my beautiful wife.
What's up, guys? It's Chels.
We got a very unique video for you guys today, and the topic is going to be
Why relationship advice is actually bad for your relationship. I know this is kind of a funny thing for us to be talking about because this channel is pretty much about relationship advice. Funny enough, we have taken very little of that ourselves, and we found that that has been a serious key to us working through things on our own and actually having a lasting relationship. So we do have some reasons for you guys why you should be really, really careful when you're taking relationship advice, and really take that with a grain of salt, and some things to kind of be aware of if you want that relationship you're in or that marriage you're in to last.
we've been together for 18 years now, and I believe we have a great marriage.
Yep.
And, it came with a lot of work, a lot of growth, a lot of challenges. We've gone through our share of challenges in our marriage, just like everyone else.
Yeah.
A unique thing about us is one of the reasons why it prompted us to do this video is that we have never actually taken any relationship advice from anyone outside of our relationship, which is her and me.
Yeah.
So I realize that's a unique thing because there are a lot of people in the field of marriage counseling, marriage advice, relationship advice. Now with social media, there's so many relationship gurus,
Coaches.
The funny thing is, these gurus and coaches, some of them don't have the relationships that they're preaching about, that they're teaching about. They don't have firsthand experience. They may have the knowledge, they may have the awareness, but they themselves haven't gone through a relationship, working through a relationship, building a great relationship, building a great marriage.
Yeah, which brings us actually to the first point, which is why is relationship advice often bad is because you are taking it from someone based on their personal experience. They're not actually in your relationship. They don't see things from your point of view. They are not your partner or your spouse. And they're not there for the pillow talk, for the kitchen talk. They're not there for the highs and the lows. So they're giving a very biased point of view based on their personal experience.
Yeah, you're right. No one will ever know your desires, your likes, your vision for your relationship, what you love, what your partner loves, what you guys want together. Nobody will ever know the intimate details of what really makes a relationship and marriage work. And it's impossible to communicate and articulate all of that to a advisor or a counselor or a coach to help them fully understand your situation and your circumstances and the dynamic part of your relationship and your love.
Caution two of why you should really be careful who you're listening to is they don't have to live with the end result of what you ultimately decide. So if you decide to work through a problem and to stay with this partner committed long term, that only really affects you, not this person giving you advice. Or if you decide to break up with this person, or maybe they convince you or they persuade you to divorce this person, they don't really have to go through all the shit that you have to go through and sift through. They don't have to live with the consequences of their advice. They get to just give it and walk away. You have to live with the decisions that come from that advice. So be really careful about that. Another one, when you're taking advice, it puts a lot of pressure and a new kind of expectation on your partner. So if I'm having an issue, for example, with Sandra, let's say we're trying to sort through an issue, and instead of coming to him and talking about it, I go to some girlfriends and over a bottle of wine, we just start talking about it and opening things up. They might start to make judgments or pass opinions that when I come home that night, suddenly there's a whole new pressure and all new expectations that I now have around him, because I didn't come to him to figure it out. I went somewhere else, and those people influenced me to have different type of expectations and to put different pressures on my partner, which aren't ultimately going to help us get on the same page.
And I think there's a trend, or There's a lot of women that do this in relationships, right? Instead of talking to the most important person in their relationship, which is their spouse, they go to their girlfriends or to their friends to complain and to get advice.
Yeah.
And you're never going to get the best advice from those type of people, especially when you turn away from the person who's actually in the relationship with you. You go to someone else, chances are they're not going to give you the best advice possible to make your relationship thrive.
It will also change the way that you perceive your partner. So not only does it add a new pressure and new expectations, but you might completely see what they do differently. I remember actually, when we became parents and we were trying to navigate figuring out how to be a mom and dad together, not just a husband and wife together. Wow, that was a time when people would pass all kinds of opinions on the things that he should be doing and the things that I should be doing and how much more or less one person should be doing. And those things weren't necessarily what felt natural for me or what felt natural for him. But when people just go by and drop their advice on you, sometimes that can start to make you think, oh, wait, maybe I should be expecting this. Maybe this person isn't doing what they should, or they shouldn't be doing X, Y, Z. So be really, really careful of that. You always want to come back to what feels good in your heart, what feels good for you and your partner, and don't let outside advice change the way that you perceive how they're already showing up for you.
Yeah, you have to lose your pride and have a lot of patience and courage in talking with your partner. You have to have a lot of maturity to have the level of communication with your partner that can really help resolve the problems that you're having. So that's where it really starts, having the maturity, having the understanding, and letting go of your pride and ego, and allowing yourself to communicate with your partner about your problems.
Yeah. So here's another one. When you take relationship advice, a lot of times it's ignoring the actual underlying issue that's happening between you and your partner. Oftentimes when we go seek outside of our relationship some advice, we're probably just describing the symptoms around the actual problem. And because that particular person isn't in the relationship and they don't understand from day one our personal experiences, the challenges we've overcome, our trauma, our partner's trauma, our upbringing, their upbringing, they don't fully understand the root cause of what's going on here. And, when you commit to someone, especially when you go from just boyfriend or girlfriend or fiance into marriage, you're also marrying that person's trauma. You're also marrying the things that they've been through. And it's a commitment to grow together. So when you go outside and you just bitch and moan about something that's annoying your partner is doing, that person's going to give you advice about that one little side symptom. It's never going to consider the underlying issue.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Taking relationship advice also can be super one-sided. When you're sitting and talking to someone about your relationship, probably complaining, and they're giving you their advice, you're not sitting and airing out all the ways that you are probably contributing to the ultimate problem. It's often super one-sided and doesn't really take into consideration how you are contributing and how you could be also showing up differently. So, it can really make you painted in this beautiful light, and it can really villainize your partner. Whereas if you go to your partner and you sit down and you say, hey, I'm feeling this certain way and I don't know really how to deal with this, but these things you're doing are really bothering me, or these things need to change. It gives your partner an opportunity to give their perspective of maybe ways you're showing up that you're completely ignorant and blind to because you live inside of your body and inside of your own head. You're your own character. So you need to come to your partner so that both of you have the opportunity to talk honestly.
And if you are going to be taking advice outside of your relationship from someone else, make sure that person has the results, the relationship, the lifestyle that you are looking for. Because a lot of times, like I said earlier in this video, a lot of times I see people giving advice to other people on relationships and marriages don't have the results themselves, don't have the relationships that they're teaching about themselves. They've never gone through the hardships, the trials and errors of life with the partner. You can't train someone just off of information. You can't coach someone just off of knowledge. You can only teach and coach someone through your own life experiences and wisdom that you gained from your personal experiences. So if you are going to be taking advice outside of your relationship or your marriage from someone else, make sure they're living the life that you would want to live, or that you are willing to trade places with them, right? So that's an important thing to know. And what do you say to people? Because there are some people that say, oh, marriage advice outside of my marriage or relationship has helped me, has helped us. I know there's a group of people that are watching this and saying, what are they talking about? Don't take marriage advice. It has certainly helped me and my spouse. What do we say to those people?
Well, for those people, I would say what Sanj just said is really important. If you're going to, or if you really feel like if you and your partner just cannot get on the same page, you feel like you're talking and they're talking and it's like you guys are just not aligning, maybe you do need a mediator to get both your feet on the ground and help you to really hear one another, then absolutely find someone that you would trade places with, that has the type of relationship or the type of marriage that shows up as the type of wife or the type of husband that you ultimately really want, because they are leaving footprints in the sand for you to follow. And with that being said too, I know Sanj said we haven't taken any advice. There's one book I read that I really, really took to heart, and that was by Elena Cardone. It's called Building an Empire. And why I was so willing to take her advice in that book was because her and Grant have a beautiful relationship, beautiful parents, hardcore entrepreneurs. They work really well together, and I really admire their relationship. And a lot of the things she said actually are a lot of the things that we're telling you. And it was such a confirmation for me. So if you do feel like I need growth, I just can't see how I can get better in my partner, and we need someone in the middle here, then definitely please listen to somebody who's actually married, who has actually gone through the things that you want to go through, and they're on the other side of it. We're not going to go take marriage advice from somebody who's divorced, because that's ultimately not at all the results that we are seeking. So definitely make sure that you would trade places with them.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't go off of someone's social media profile or their business cards or how curated their pictures and videos and posts are before you seek advice from them. Ask them some uncomfortable questions about their relationships, their perspective and their point of view on things, and really kind of dig deep to understand and figure out who you're getting your advice and your coaching from. That's very important.
If you are getting advice from someone right now, ask yourself, after you hear that, do you feel more self-confident? And do you feel more confident in your partner? After you hear that advice, do you have more faith in your relationship? Do you have more faith in yourself? Do you have more faith in your partner? Or is that advice slowly chipping away at it? Because human beings don't always mean to, but a lot of times it's so easy for us, because of how our brains are, to find the fault, to find the criticism. Somebody else, that saying, misery loves company. So if you go and start complaining about your relationship, oftentimes, naturally, especially your friends, or like your siblings or something, they will just throw fuel on that fire. So if that is making you even more nervous about your relationship, doubt it even more, then really, really stop yourself. Stop yourself for a second and listen to your gut. What is this ultimately doing? And is this moving you towards the place you want your relationship to go? Or is this pulling you further and further away from really working through things with your partner?
So guys, the point here is, the truth is, no one really knows the full extent of your problems, your challenges, and what you're going through outside of your marriage. No one outside your marriage knows better than the person who's in the marriage. So have the courage, build a maturity to seek for solutions to your problems in your relationship. It's easy to, think that someone else has the answers. It's easy to think that someone else knows what's best for you and your partner. But really, guys, the truth is, you both only know what's best for you. And the best thing to do is to continue to build the maturity and the patience and the calmness to communicate at a deeper level to resolve and work through your problems.
Beware of taking relationship advice, you guys. If you like this video, please smash that like button. We would appreciate you so much if you would subscribe to this channel. And you know what? If you know a couple that could really benefit from hearing this, please share this video. We're excited to continue to bring you all kinds of content around marriage and relationships, parenting, and everything to do with building a family and a legacy for yourself and the people you love the most on this earth. So thank you guys so much. We'll see you again soon. Bye.
Bye.